The date, January the 8th, Saturday of 2022. My backyard. Now I'd say that's nothing to sneeze at. There's a lot of work that one can do here. So I'd say this is not very imaginative, to say the least. Never really have invested time in this area of my house or my yard, but that is changing, and it is the start of a new era. It all started with this little lady. Lady Banks Rose. A clipping purchased from Tombstone, Arizona. We'll have an episode out about that in the near future. And worthy of note, this is Amy's rose bush. And it's actually thriving. It's a David Austin, like she ordered it. And it's a, let me see if I get this right, a Jude the Obscure. Hope I got that right. I think I did. But hers is thriving. Mine, I think, is thriving too. And there were a lot of little holes in the leaves, but those were there when I got it. And we're trying to determine if we're seeing new ones or not. But we really didn't keep track of the growth very well or document its progress, so it's hard to know what's new and what's not. We're going to do an episode on that specific rose, the type of rose, the science, the botany, the history, all of that stuff. Maybe in the next couple weeks. We're trying to finish that one up. So you can see I've gotten a head start on 2022 in the backyard and just have not done nearly what I thought I'd have done by this point. And I got other projects going on also, and this is a long-term thing that I'm doing, and I might occasionally have episodes that kind of give updates and, you know, give you peeks at the progress here. But Amy and I talked about it, and I was going to start just posting videos on this channel about all the work I'm doing back here, but we just thought it wouldn't be a good fit. However, I'm toying around with the idea of putting that content on our cactusatlas.com website, which we're kind of just changing up our strategy, and we're not really going to be like an information source anymore. We just want this to be fun and entertaining, so maybe that'll be the home for future content. So those that choose to come over can come over there voluntarily and see it. So I don't want to scare folks off with DIY projects all the time. So, but today's an exception. Well, I suppose I should be retrospecting about 2021 and talking about 2022 and like happenings here in the channel, and I guess our lives in general, plans, things like that. So talk is cheap. That's why we're ripping out shrubs and trees and things. We're acting. That's what 2022 is all about for me, is, you know, acting on things and just stop hesitating, make some decisions and get some things done. That being said, I think I'm off to a good start. You would agree, wouldn't you? This is part of a much bigger vision of re-landscaping my backyard and doing some pretty intense redesign, raised beds with cactus gardens and roses growing everywhere, pavers, you name it. And I'm going to do it all myself over time. And this is the humble beginning of that. It's exciting though. We were planning on being much further ahead now because luckily my company gives me off the whole week between Christmas and New Year's. And that's just an extra vacation that I get. And I was going to do a lot more work, but it rained here in Phoenix like almost the whole time, and it was cold and just unpleasant. So I really couldn't get anything done. But we did have a gigantic cactus that fell after a really heavy rain, and you can see now that I have gotten that extracted. I did not do that myself. I did hire somebody to haul that away because I didn't have the truck or the materials to be able to do that. But anyway, now I have a clean palette. So the first victim today is this young Texas ebony tree that I planted years ago, and boy did the roots really get their little tendrils deep in there, because this thing is not budging. So why are we doing this, you ask? Well, for botanists, this is kind of like Dr. Pimple Popper. People get the same enjoyment out of extracting things like that. Nah, I'm just kidding. Well, that's probably true, but you're just seeing some of my early 2022 business, getting things done. That's why I'm showing you this. But we'll get into more detail and catch up on a few other things here momentarily. First, let's tend to that. This is one of the new additions to our tool set in 2022. I actually bought it in 2021, a reciprocating saw, and I saw videos that these are excellent to take care of jobs like this. So, the doctor is here. Here we go. It cuts through them like butter. They're hard roots, but you can come down here closer and see how thick these roots are, right? Watch this. Bye-bye. Oh, there's some give, actually. Look at that. Okay.
I see one. I see another one.
You see another one? Oh, I do right there, right? Mm-hmm. Try to break that one with a shovel, but let's work smart. Let's not work hard. That's a stubborn one, actually. That one's tough. Whew, that was tough. That, friends, is what I hope is a good example of a clean extraction. I really don't know. I'm not experienced in these things, but I'm struggling to see how that thing's coming back now. Although there are little roots, you know, I cleaned out and went pretty deep down. The only troubling, worrying one, I would say, that I see, something like this one. This is the biggest one. And as I was like sawing it off, Amy was standing like a few feet that way and could feel vibrations. So you know that root is going far off that way. So let's start a simple tally. How many of you out there would vote, I'm gonna see a return of this tree? And how many would you vote, it's gone forever? I am gonna vote forever. But you guys might have the last laugh, we'll see. So there's meaning here. To me, what I just did is a metaphor for transitioning out the old year and bringing out the new. We extracted the old and discarded it, and now we're moving forward. That was 2021, and now 2022 is what goes in that hole. I don't know if I want to look at it that way though, like, you know, removing the old. It almost feels like we removed a tumor from the earth or something like that. Because 2021, for me personally, I'm not going to speak for everybody, certainly not Amy, but for myself, it was not a bad year. I was gainfully employed, great job, got to travel pretty much the entire year. I think we only missed a day or two this past year in 2021 on our weekly release schedule, which I'm still amazed at how I can keep up with this, but we're still going strong. So, and also all of you that have been hanging around and watching this thing for as long as you have, especially those that come back week after week, I still can't believe that. And that's why I do this. I mean, there's no other reason. I can tell you it's not for the money. It's really for the enjoyment and pleasure. But I keep bringing my attention back to my yard because I have ambitions here in 2022. After the extractions come great things, like shaping up this tree. You see, this year I plan on doing a lot of things. I'm gonna start learning some design software like the thing Landscaper uses. I've done some research, and I'm gonna design something here in this backyard fantastic. Something that hopefully looks professional, and something that, most importantly, that I do with my own two hands, as much as I can anyway. Including like raised beds along the wall. I'm gonna be either stuccoing the entire interior of the wall or painting it. I have not decided yet. Probably painting it, because I don't know if stuccoing it to match the house is gonna be a little over the top or not. Or maybe that would be the ultimate, I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Because part of me, I like to do these kind of videos to solicit opinions. So if you guys have these cinder block walls in the Southwest, do you prefer stucco or just straight up painting it? So that's a project that I wanted to do over the Christmas break, but it rained the whole time. But basically I'm gonna have to just power wash the whole wall and then either get a paint sprayer, maybe I could do it with rollers. Any of you that have done that before, just give me your tips and tricks, that's all I ask. And because of the tombstone rose here, the Lady Banks, Amy and I just both simultaneously took an interest in roses. So we want to have lots of different roses out here. Like Amy's once again Jude the Obscure, a rose that's discontinued that you are not going to be able to order much longer, if not at all. But Amy and I keep coming out every few hours and we're like, we swear it grew more. Look at that. This is like turning into like leaves. It's so exciting to see. And now I bring you a couple days forward where we filled in some of those holes. We now have 2 new additions to our rose garden. We just planted them. Now we have a lot of landscaping to do, so I know this is kind of ugly over here, but this would be a Brandy, is the name of the rose. And this one right here would be called Hot Cocoa. This was Amy's choice, and the small one over there was my choice. Okay, so I think you get it by now. You see what my focus has really been in 2022 so far. So ignore all of the weird paint on the wall. I'm testing out different colors, and that's another project, just FYI, that we're going to be undertaking here soon. So you might be wondering, well, Glenn, like, how are you planning on keeping up your weekly release schedule and doing all of this stuff and working a full-time job? Which, by the way, I do work a full-time job. YouTube is just a part-time hobby. It's a passion. We love doing it. And yes, we are monetized and we do make a couple bucks, but this is not like, this is just something I do in addition to my normal everyday life and just working the daily grind like many of us do. That being said, you might be already predicting where I might be going with this, so stick with me a little bit. You know, this whole Cactus Atlas channel that we've been doing now for, I want to say 2 years, or coming up on 2 years, or 3. I don't even remember. It's been so long. It's awesome, and I'm never going to stop doing it. So always going to be posting on YouTube, hopefully to the day I die. So hopefully that's a long time from now, but no worries there. But the frequency, that's another thing. So Amy and I are currently discussing this right now, and to me it almost feels like when I first started doing this, or when Amy and I started doing this, I think we really took that typical YouTube influencer approach of, cool, I'm just gonna go have fun and get paid for doing it and get like perks and get, you know, sponsors and do all that. That was kind of my curiosity, and I approached it more like that and quickly realized for most of us common folk, you are one in, I don't know, a lot of people. So to me, compared to what I do for a living, I mean, this isn't really a viable replacement for what I do. But when I, you know, probably about halfway into it, I really started to get more into like the telling of the story, and I don't want it to just be about going to locations and taking the camera and being like, oh, look at that, that's cool. Oh wait, check that out, that's cool. I mean, I don't know, like some people, that's their thing, but I want to do something a little bit more, do a lot more research before going to places, maybe make it more documentary style. I'm not quite sure, but what I can tell you is we've been dabbling in that, and it is very time consuming. So trying to do that and maintain a weekly schedule, that's a challenge. So, and I'm just kind of talking by the seat of my pants here. This isn't like a scripted thing, so I may not sound the most eloquent, and I know this isn't the coolest background ever. I'm just very casual here, so thank you for sticking with me. But all of that being said, I don't know what the answer is going to be. I don't know if Amy and I are going to try to come up with a different schedule and say maybe release every other week and try to commit to that, or maybe there's no schedule and it's like release whenever, and maybe there'd be videos that come out week after week, then maybe a break, because I'm doing all these home DIY projects and all that. My other thought was, okay, cool, I'll just film that stuff and put it on this channel. But it just doesn't fit, you know, it doesn't fit with what, like I view the Cactus Atlas, or we view the Cactus Atlas, I think, as a show, not like a DIY channel or some instructional type of thing. So I don't want to throw off people that might be new to the channel where they're like, what is this? Are we building a workbench today? Or are we hiking the Grand Canyon? So anyway, that just doesn't seem to fit, but we're toying around with the idea of putting that kind of content on our website keeping it isolated from the main YouTube channel, but giving people that really, if anybody wants to see what we're up to or you want an update, go check out our website. We're just revamping that and simplifying it, and probably are just going to track that kind of stuff there, but we're not even 100% sure about that. I mean, we're pretty sure, but you know, we have to plan all these things, and we do all the work, by the way, too. So it's not, we don't hire someone to do our website or anything like that. So it's work, and it takes time, and that's more stuff that we need to do. So I'm making myself tired talking here. So I think you get it. Yeah, we're very, very busy people and juggling a lot of stuff. So maybe at this point I can solicit feedback from you guys. I know there are other YouTubers that do probably very similar things to what I do, but then they mix it up and they do like home vlogs, and they just kind of film their day-to-day lives, and you know, anything from mundane tasks. In my case, I wouldn't make it mundane ever, but you know what I mean. So maybe it does fit on YouTube. It just feels wrong to me. It feels like I'm violating like a contract, you know, like that wasn't what people signed up for. But then again, people can choose to watch or not watch, to subscribe or unsubscribe. You know, that's completely within everybody's control. But I'm not saying this, you know, don't unsubscribe now because I'm telling you this, but you know, if we're going to do less of one type of content, but continue to do that, if we could supplement it with all this other kind of stuff, like I gave you a taste today, like leave us a comment and maybe we'll put out a poll even to see, like, you know, would you guys prefer that over nothing, you know, or whatever. But once again, do not be alarmed, because I think we're gonna probably have content for the upcoming weeks to come. Got a lot of stuff that I still need to edit, that I'm holding up the show. But Amy's working on some stuff, and I'm probably going to be going out and filming a couple things this weekend. So I don't think you're going to, like, come next week you will have a video. So know that. And when we make decisions or things begin to solidify, we'll just put on our social media channels or anywhere we can, we will announce what we're up to. But just want to let you know how, like, we're feeling, how I'm feeling about it specifically. It just kind of boils down to, like, this is a passion, you know. If I'm gonna do it, or if we're gonna do it, I don't want to do what I want to do what we want to do, and I want it to be a little better quality and all of that. So we're just trying to feel that out, figure that out. So hopefully we don't lose anybody in the process, but understand if that happens. And of course, if you're new and for some reason you landed here and you've made it this far into the video, I do encourage you to subscribe, because like I said, I think there's a lot of longevity left in the Cactus Atlas, a lot of awesome plans we've come up with, so we really just have to execute on that and keep chugging forward. So, whew, I'm tired. I really am, in a good way. But outside of that, I mean, I really can't think of too much more to update you on, other than just a reminder, my wife Amy really has been doing the bulk of the editing. The only exception to that is that Seldom Seen Slim video. Seldom Seen Slim Part 1. I do want to point out that, yeah, I think I got 4 more parts to that, but it explores, you'll get it as we go forward. It's really part of a trip I took in November where I drove up, you know, to Tonopah, through Nevada, down to Death Valley, and then actually ended up in Calico at the end, which is where we started the journey. But hoping to do some more things like that, and I'm doing some experimenting. Hopefully things don't get too campy or goofy, and that's not my intent, but you know, experimenting with special effects. And I recently switched from using a simpler editing program to using what Amy uses, which is Premiere Pro, and that opened up a whole new world. So yeah, I may have gone a little crazy on that last video, but if you do like that and prefer that, let us know, because that's my personality. Amy's like got a much more conservative, reserved personality, thankfully, or else we probably wouldn't have gotten as many subscribers as we have to date. So thanks to Amy. But I really want you guys to know, as Amy is really an essential and crucial part to this whole operation. It absolutely would never have come close to happen, and it just couldn't be without her. So know, like, you know, when you're commenting and stuff, think of her and just, you know, like, give her some kudos, because chances are, if it's not a goofy video with like stupid special effects, it's probably Amy's much more nicer, normal work. So But yeah, I just felt like I was overdue for doing a video like this. I feel on YouTube, at the very least, it's probably appropriate to maybe connect a little bit more personally than usual, like on a video. And, you know, for those that have been around a long time especially. And once again, I can't thank all of you enough. Every one of you that has subscribed over time. Most of all, those that come back week after week, the ones that comment. I would name names just because we are so appreciative of all of you, but I'm always paranoid I don't want things to feel weird, or I don't want to violate anyone's privacy or anything like that. But I think you all know who you are. You know, like we actually sit around and it's just, you know, see someone smile or so-and-so commented, and Amy and I converse about those things. And, you know, so it really is just such a good feeling. It fills a void in life in some weird way. So yeah, so thankful, and really, yeah, been enjoying this. It's just been a privilege to be able to live in a time where it's possible to do something like this, and the barrier to entry is reduced because technology allows for it. And yeah, such a cool time to live in. This is the part of the video that gets extra wordy, so I probably need to wrap it up because I could just keep talking and talking and talking. But yeah, I can't think of anything else to really add to that other than I wish everybody the best 2022. I've started off the year full steam ahead, and I have really good things already happening in my life, both career-wise, in this endeavor, and just everything. So I just know that 2022 is going to be an awesome year, and everything's going to be good for everybody. Can't guarantee that, but we will hope. Next time.